I missed you so very, very much. Today I want to actually to tell you the story of the Palm Sunday. Today we celebrated Palm Sunday, and in Palm Sunday, this is what happened. So there is a lot of people who love Jesus. Jesus, remember, he used to go and do miracles. Jesus, he one time saved the disciple. They were, remember, they were in the ship, and the boat was really sinking, remember? And then Jesus saved his disciple. What did he tell to the wind, and what did he tell to the sea? He told them to be still, do not move. What happened? They obey Jesus because Jesus is God and he created everything. He created the sea, he created also the wind, and he can order them to stop, and they listen to Jesus. Everybody should listen to Jesus. Remember also when Jesus fed how many? I know you know. Jesus fed 5,000 people. He fed them with what? Only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. Remember the story? I know you do. So Jesus was going and doing miracle. Some people, they loved Jesus. Some people, they didn't. But guess what? One time, Jesus, he told his disciple, we are going to Jerusalem. I need you to do me one favor. I need you to go to this place, and you're going to find a person that he has a donkey. I want you to bring this donkey to me. Well, the disciple, they were wondering why Jesus he needs this donkey. But the disciples were so good, and they loved Jesus so much, and they listened to him. Jesus, he received the donkey from his disciple. He sat on the donkey, and he went to visit Jerusalem. So while he is trying to enter Jerusalem, guess what happened? The people who really loved Jesus, they stayed there waiting for Jesus. They knew he's coming. And they took the palms and they put it on the floor to welcome him. Or remember, you guys, back then there was no party decoration. There was, now we have a lot of party decoration. But today, in there was no party decoration. So the people, they become so creative, and instead, they took the palms from the trees and they put it on the ground for Jesus. So when he walked, they have the palm waiting for him to welcome Jesus. It's not only that, some people, they didn't find the palms. So what they did, they took their clothes and jackets and sweaters. They put it on the floor for Jesus. So Jesus, he walked on them and they welcomed him. They kept saying, Hosanna, Jesus. Remember us, Jesus. So everybody was so happy and they welcomed Jesus. But guess what? After they welcomed him, few days after, Jesus was praying. And he wanted to teach his disciple how to pray. So he took some of his disciple and he told them, come with me to the garden. We're going to go and pray. But the disciple fell asleep. They were so tired. Jesus was praying. At that time, there's one of Jesus' disciples. I know you know his name. His name was Judas. Judas, he went to the leaders of the Jewish, because the leader of the Jewish, you guys, they didn't love Jesus. They didn't believe that he is the Messiah, that God promised that he's going to send to save us and rescue us from our sin. Remember, when God created the earth, he told Adam and Eve, don't ever sin, because if you ever sin, you're going to die. And you remember that. So what happened? Adam and Eve, they didn't listen to God, and they ate from the tree that God told them not to eat from. Until now, most of us, we do some sin too. And sin keep us away from God. So God, he decided, he didn't send anybody. He came himself to save us. And instead of we all die because of our sin, because we all do sin, So the sin is what keeps us from God, and if something doesn't please God, remember that? So the sin is something doesn't please God and make him a little bit sad because he wants all to obey him and be kind and loving to each other and to him. But God, he decided to send his son, Jesus, so he can save us. He said, I'll take the punishment. I love you all. I don't want any of you to die. I'm going to take the punishment. I'm going to die on the cross for you. And this is exactly what happened. So with God's permission, Judas, one of his disciples, he went to the leaders and the Jewish leader, and he told them, I know you are looking for Jesus. I know you want to catch him and punish him. So I can show you where is Jesus because I know exactly where he goes and his plan. I'm one of his disciples. I can show you where is Jesus, and you go and you catch him. And he asked him, so what do you want us to give you? And instead, he said, just 30 pieces of silver. And this is actually, you guys, the 30 pieces of silver, it's not even a big money. Imagine he betrayed it. God loved, Jesus love, with only 30 pieces of silver. He really didn't love God as God loved him. So Judas, he went to the leaders of the Jewish and he told them, I'll show you. I'll follow where he's going and I'll come and let you know. So they give him the money and he went. Jesus at this time, you guys, was having dinner with his disciple. And he told them, come, do this. If I leave you, just do this. Share my blood and my body. Go eat my blood and my body so you can remember me. And he shared his food with them. Now, when Jesus was doing this, Judas was sitting there. Remember the one he betrayed Jesus. He was sitting there and he said to Jesus, Jesus said, well, the person, one of you who's going to eat with me from this plate, he's going to go and tell on me. So everybody was wondering, but Judas, he knew himself and he left. Now, after this happened, Jesus took his disciples, some of them, and he told them, come, I want to go to pray. Come with me. So they went to the garden. Disciple fell asleep, remember? And Jesus was praying. While Jesus was praying, guess what happened? Judas, he went to the Jewish leader and he said, come, Jesus is in the garden. I'll show you where is he. Come follow me so you can catch him. So Judas went to the garden where Jesus was praying, and the soldier, they came, and the disciples were scared. The soldier, they came, and they arrested Jesus like a criminal. Imagine, you guys, Jesus is the God. He's the creator. He is our God. And he allowed this to happen to them because he wanted to because he wanted to take the punishment. And he wants us all to live eternal life with him. So Jesus allowed them to catch him. So Jesus, they took him actually to Pilatus Pilate, which was the king there, and they told him, we catch Jesus. We finally catch Jesus. But the Pontius Pilate, he said, what did Jesus do? They said, well, we just need to crucify him. Just take him and crucify him. But he told them, but Jesus didn't do anything. Do you have anything against him? They didn't find anything against Jesus. So he just listened to what they said. And he said, fine, take him and do to him whatever you want to do. They took Jesus, you guys, and they crucified him. They was like spitting on him, and all of this happened because he wanted to save us all. He took all the punishment that we're supposed to go through, and he took it and he saved us. So he went, they were spitting on him, and they took him and they said, now we're gonna crucify him. They took his clothes and they were so harsh on him. Now, they decided to take Jesus to the cross. They put him and nailed him to the cross. And there was even two other criminals. They put one on the right and one on the left. The soldiers were making fun of Jesus. They were telling him, well, you said you're God. Come down and save yourself and save us. Jesus, you guys, he can't come down. He went to the cross willingly. So he can bring him, he's God. He can bring himself down. But again, remember, Jesus wanted to do this for us. He took all the punishment, he took all the hate, and he died on the cross for our sin. Because again, remember, when we sin, we're supposed to be dead. Because sin keeps us away from God. And when you sin, that's mean you are doing something to not to please God. So sin really keeps us away from God. I need you to remember this. Now, God really loves us so much, and he wanted us all to be with him in heaven. He took all the punishment willingly. Nobody forced him. He can save himself. He can come out of the cross. But remember, he loves us, and he did that willingly, you guys. So the soldier again were making fun of him, and they said, well, you said you are God. Come, if you are God, come down from the cross. And even the two criminals, the right and the left, they were making fun of Jesus too. Now, remember Saint Mary, mother of Jesus, she was so sad. She was crying. She was crying, and some other people who loved Jesus were there, and they were crying as well. They loved Jesus. And Saint John was there as well. And he is the one who took care of Saint Mary after. And then everyone who loved Jesus was really sad. Now, I want to tell you something. This story might sound like a sad story, but it's not. Because this is how we got our salvation. This is how we become rescued. This is the story of love. God loved us so much to the point that he sacrificed himself. He died on the cross instead of every one of us. He died on the cross instead of me. He died on the cross instead of you. He wanted us to live happily with him at the end when we go to heaven. So it may now is going to stop until here when Jesus died on the cross for us. They took him after 3 days, after he really passed away, he died. They took him and they put him in the tomb. Now, I know most of you now, they think this is the end of the story. Well, this is not the end of the story, you guys. This is not the end. God really, the happy part is when God, he's gonna resurrect it from the dead. I'll tell you this story later when we celebrate Easter. But now I need you to know, Jesus died for us, he loves us, and he died on the cross for our sin. Now the happy part, I'm gonna share it with you on the next week when I see you again in another video. But for now, I need you to enjoy the hymns. Try to listen to the hymns of the church celebrating Jesus dying on the cross for our sin. I'll leave you for now. I hope you all have a happy week. Please be safe. I love you so much, and I'll see you next week.